49er faithful. How much longer do we have to wait for Maxx Crosby to become a 49er?
I'm a 49er. I bleed red and gold. I've been faithful since I was 2 years old. We about to start quick and count another ring. Being a 49er mean I'm a 49er.
49er faithful, it is I, Filmo Trev, coming to you live from everywhere. And I want to do a real quick 49er roll call. Where are you checking in from right now? Drop your area code, drop your city, drop your state, drop your country. If you're out the country, 49er faithful, we're going to have a great show. I'm going to be on here for an hour. I'm going to have, I think, CG Ruthless, as well as Alex come on here around the 5:30 mark. But other than that, let me know how's everyone doing. And I want to get right into it. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of rumors, a lot of things are going around about Maxx Crosby coming to the San Francisco 49ers, as well as with the Philadelphia Eagles. Maxx Crosby is one of those guys that you need to have on the roster. The 49ers missed out with getting Garrett Miles. They missed out. They had their opportunity. They missed out. We didn't get them. But we all know who we need to go get now. I think everyone on the 49ers should be up for trade outside of Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Bosa. Everyone else should be on the trading block. Yes, everyone should be on the trading block. This is a must. You got to do it. You have to do it. There's no reason why you wouldn't trade. Outside of those players, everyone else, Eddie P. Can't forget Eddie P. But everyone else needs to be on the trading block. This is a big deal, a very big deal. And this needs to happen. We missed out on getting the best pass rusher in the past 10 years. We missed out. But now we can't miss out on getting the second best. This is a huge opportunity for the San Francisco 49ers. Trade all the draft picks. We need to. Why are we holding on to them? It's not like we do good things with them anyway. We don't. Can you name the last time we had a great first-round draft pick? It's been years. Fred Warner, trade away that first-round draft pick, give it to the Raiders, get Maxx Crosby. If they want anyone on the roster, let it happen. Why not? Why not let it happen? Drop in the comments right now and let me know who would you trade on our roster for Maxx Crosby. We're giving them a first-round draft pick. We know that. They want a first-round draft pick, so let's give them the first-round draft pick for sure. We're giving them that. But outside of that, what player are you sending to them in a trade? I'm thinking Brandon Ayuk. I'm thinking, who else will I send? Winter. Jair Brown. Who else? Why not? Why not? All these guys can go. All of them can go. Okay? We need to get Maxx Crosby. I know a lot of you out there are like, do we honestly need him? Yes. Do I need to remind you of his stats? Maxx Crosby is a difference maker on every single level. And the 49ers need to do anything and everything to get him on this roster. No excuses. No dropping the ball on this. We have to. Think about how much better the 49ers will be having Maxx Crosby, Bosa. I give them Mykel Williams. Why not? Let me know in the chat right now. Why not give up Mykel Williams to get him? Would that be such a bad thing to do? Would it? First round draft pick and Mykel Williams. Who the hell else do you want? And let's ask this deeper question right now. Is Mykel Williams going to be better than Maxx Crosby from what we've seen? Some out there would say, we don't know yet. These are the things that we know about Mykel Williams. He doesn't have violent hands. He's a good run stopper, but he's not a pass rusher, and he's too small for a 3 technique and a defensive end. But he plays the 3 technique on the shade of the guard. That's what we know for a fact. So what do? Do we continuously try to keep on doing this and put us in a situation where, oh, we think, oh, maybe, oh, we don't know? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We need to make this change for multiple reasons. Multiple reasons. And a better question, I think, is would Maxx Crosby and Nick Bosa work good together? You got Bosa on one end. You got Maxx Crosby on the other end. How will that look? How will it look? Now, I do agree that these are 2 different type of defensive ends. Bosa likes to stick to one side. Bosa really doesn't like to move. Maxx Crosby's wants to jump around, be where he needs to be. He reminds me kind of like a J.J. Watt. Would you agree? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that take right there. If you think Maxx Crosby's kind of like a lighter J.J. Watt. I don't know. But I'm very curious and will these 2 work out together? 2 different type of frames, 2 different type of bodies, but at the same time, them on the field together, oh my gosh. Of what they could accomplish? Maxx Crosby, Bosa. If we can keep Mykel Williams, Alfred Collins, oh, we're cooking with gasoline, ladies and gentlemen. We are cooking with gasoline if we can get this to happen. But it's going to come down to John Lynch pulling the trigger, making it happen, Kyle Shanahan figuring out how to do it, and getting it done. And please, if this is your first time watching, please do me a favor. Subscribe, smash that follow button if you're a true 49er faithful, because the faithful talk is all about us. This needs to get done. It has to get done. This would probably be one of the best things that could happen to the 49ers in the past 4 to 5 years. This is a major opportunity, and we cannot let it slip through our fingers. Getting John Lynch to jump on a flight to Vegas, meeting up with the owner, meeting up with Tom Brady. Like it just sounds too perfect of an ideal situation. This needs to happen. John Lynch, jump on the PJ with Jed York. Go to Vegas. Go to the Wind. Go to a nice hotel. Get a lobster and a steak. And be like, look, give us Maxx Crosby, first-round draft pick, whoever the hell you want that's not George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner, and Bosa. Let's make this happen. It's easy. Let's get this to happen. I know you want it. We want it. I just think Maxx Crosby fits our culture. He fits our culture. Everything about him. It's an ideal situation. Hands down. It's an ideal situation for us. And it needs to happen. Has to happen. I would trade Mykel Williams to the Raiders. I would. I know some of you out there will be like, no, don't trade, Mike Hill. We don't know what he could be. Coming off of an injury in your first season, why not? Why not? I know Maxx Crosby has an injury too. They all have injuries. We all know players come with injuries. But why not? I'm in the comments right now. CG Ruthless, what's good, brother? Matter of fact, I'm going to add you at 5 p.m., brother. I'm going to definitely add you at 5 p.m. Hold on. Can you pray for me? Absolutely. Absolundo. Can definitely do that. I like what CG says. I want it to happen, but it's unlikely. I don't know. Alex said, send Williams, do not leave Vegas without Maxx Crosby. I agree. Why not? Why not? It's a good situation. I think in this dynamics, I believe that having Bosa go against the right tackle, having Maxx Crosby going against the left tackle. We also have Ozzy rotation. This is a good thing. What is John Lynch doing? We all know everyone's preparing for the funeral of Alden Smith. Everyone that's in the Bay Area will be going to that funeral on Saturday. I might even try to attend. I'm going to try to attend for sure. But John Lynch, you didn't know Alden Smith. So there is no reason why you should be at that funeral. You should be in Vegas with Tom Brady, eating lobster, doing whatever it takes to get Maxx Crosby. Whatever it takes. Why not? Why not? Make it happen. You got to make it happen. Too many things can happen. We need this. We need this bad. Will we be a Super Bowl contender with Maxx Crosby? I would say we're a corner away. I'm not a big Green fan, but I feel like we that young bull that we picked up from Washington, if he's going to play corner for us with Upton Stout, Lenore, I like it. I like it. I like that a lot. To be honest with you, I like that a lot. I think that could be a really good look for us. Our secondary gets changed up a little bit. Greenlaw, Fred Warner, healthy. Our defense will be top six with those changes. But before we even get to all those changes, before we even get to that, we got to make sure that John Lynch is solidifying, making sure that we can get Maxx Crosby. That's the only thing that matters right now. That's really the only thing that matters. Nothing else, nothing more. Like, we don't need that draft pick. Like, why? Like, tell me, why do we need that first-round draft pick if we don't do nothing with it? Ever. We never do nothing with that first-round draft pick. We consistently blow it away, blow it away, blow it away. And I don't know why. I don't. It boggles my mind to the 10th degree. It really does. It boggles my mind to the 10th degree. It doesn't suck being in the division with the Rams because we can beat the Rams. We can beat them. We've done it before for years. Since I was a kid, we've always beat the Rams. They got lucky. Alex, I think you're right, brother. I really do think you're right. I think you're right. I think that's a high probability that the 49ers can do that. First round, second round next year, Mykel Williams, he's yours. But I don't even think they want him. I don't think the Raiders want him. I think the Raiders could want on their roster George Kittle. Call from but here's the thing: we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. Too much pressure, too much damage. We wouldn't do something like that. That's too crazy. That's definitely too crazy. CG, give me your thoughts. Where you at? Second best. I think we're the second best for sure. Second best, easily. But it's more so I think we can move to number one. I ain't gonna lie. I think the 49ers can move to number one in the division with getting Maxx Crosby on the roster. I think we can move to number one. Why not? Why not? Why not? You know? I think it's possible. Anything and everything is possible. It really is. Anything and everything is possible. But I don't know. I'm very concerned that John Lynch doesn't do what he needs to get done for this to get done. Like, I think John Lynch will be out of here after this season if he can't get Maxx Crosby. Hold on one second, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, CG Ruthless.
Salute, man. Speaking of the Maxx Crosby, you know what? Let's make a deal. We can trade for Maxx Crosby for the Raiders on Madden. We can do that on Madden, but I don't think we can really do it with them in real life.
Tell me why. We have the money.
Yeah, but dude, we've done this with the Khalil Mack trade before, and the Raiders never made it happen. We offered way better for than the Bears did. Dude, the Ravens, out of all people, they didn't offer nothing better than the 49ers, and they still didn't. They still were able to still trade with the Ravens. I don't know, bro. It's just I'm not putting my hopes on Maxx Crosby. I want it to happen, but realistically, bro, the Raiders are petty and bitter. Until Mark Davis is out of the ownership, I don't think nothing's going to change.
Do you think Maxx Crosby will get 15 sacks with the 49ers?
With the team around him, yes. But are we just playing Madden? Are we just imagining him with the Niners? Because we can live with that. We can live with I'm going to play Madden. I'm going to put Crosby on my roster. And he's going to give me 20 damn sacks like J.J. Watt, but I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But what's the chances, bro? What's the chances of the Raiders making a deal with us?
I think the Raiders had a phenomenal draft. They had a phenomenal draft. And I think Maxx Crosby wants to leave. But will they make that decision? I don't know. I think Tom Brady and I think Maxx Crosby have their own individual beef.
But that don't mean nothing. Who has control is Mark Davis.
I think it would take John Lynch going to have that conversation.
I want to be proven wrong because, I think you're muted.
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you. Nah, but hey, I like to wake up the next morning and see Maxx Crosby go to the 49ers. I want to wake up this morning feeling like, hey, I'm glad I'm wrong about it. But, dude, I have to – if I want to see that happen, I got to play Madden at least.
I don't even think Madden would take that trade unless you gave like 4 first rounds.
That's how you do it on Madden, bro. You gave up some crazy trade, like fantasy trades.
And I don't think we need to. I
think what can get the deal done is 2 first-round picks. That's it. That's what the Raiders want. I think that's going to have to take. Dude, what's the chances of us hitting on the first-round picks? They suck.
I agree.
Dude, do what the Rams do. F them fucking picks.
I agree. 2 first-round draft picks to the Raiders. The Raiders
call the Giants for Thibodeau, bro. Give up a 3rd-round pick for this guy. Let's get him.
I would.
That's another guy. That's another guy we can get also, bro. And it wouldn't cost too much. I think they already fallen out of favor with him. So he's entering the final year of his rookie contract. I mean, I like to get Crosby, but why not just take Thibodeau? He won't cost much right now.
I think Maxx Crosby is the guy. I think just to appease the fans, to appease ownership, I think John Lynch needs to do whatever it takes to make that happen. Put the knee pads on and do what you got to do in Vegas.
What the Raiders really actually need, bro? Oh, you're muted again.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're good. But it seemed like for a minute you were muted again, but you're good.
I have a new microphone, I think. That's why. So it's like when I'm quiet, it's like quiet.
Okay. So let's say hypothetically the Raiders would want to make a deal with do your damn Okay.
Say what?
Oh yeah, you're good. So let's say hypothetically the trade's going to happen, right? So we just give up 2 first-round picks. But why would they want Mikael Williams? He's coming off a serious injury. I think what they really want, this may sound crazy, but they might want Ricky P.
Give it to him.
They need that other receiver, bro. They don't have nobody like that, and they can probably work with Ricky P more than we do.
Give it to him. Why not?
Would you do
Give
that?
him up. He needs, here's the thing. I go super crazy on Ricky P because I never thought he was real 1st-round material or 2nd-round material or 3rd-round material. He's always looked like a 4th-round draft pick to me. And 49er faithful and Kyle Shanahan has made his dick bigger than what it actually is. He's not that good because he can't stay healthy. Either you're good and you're healthy or you're not good and not healthy. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's that simple. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't think we have to give him Williams at all in this trade. I think what they would want is a wide receiver like Ricky P, which makes sense.
Give him up.
And you got Stribbling, so you might as well see what the kid can do. But I don't think the chances are good right now with the Raiders because, like you said, just because Tom Brady's in the front office doesn't mean they're going to work business with us, bro. It just doesn't work that way. Like, Mark Davis still runs the team. Mark Davis still has control of what goes on. Just because they make decisions, that really has to go on to the top guy.
I think Mark Davis needs to have a conversation with Maxx Crosby.
Yeah, if that's how it works, but I just don't. I just think a lot of us think too far of this. Like, dude, we couldn't even get the Khalil Mack trade. Dude, the Bears didn't offer anything better than the 49ers.
Yeah, they didn't.
Khalil Mack just said the Bears didn't offer nothing as close to the Niners, and he thought he was going to the 49ers, but they didn't do that.
And I wonder, and here's the thing. I get why the Raiders don't want to trade with us. I get it. I completely get it. Like, let's be honest. I understand why. You're trading with the enemy. And there's 30 other teams. It makes it difficult. It does make it difficult.
Yeah, we're making some bad decisions here and there, but the problem is, bro, I think we're willing to make moves. It's just certain teams don't want to do business with us. I mean, the Raiders, for example, I think there was a couple of I think last year we were trying to make a trade with Ayuk with the Steelers, and we just asked them for George Pickens. And they said no. How the hell can we not get George Pickens? They eventually traded him.
Yeah.
What was that? Like, Steelers, if you wanted Ayuk, we would have just got George Pickens in that trade and it would have been done with. maybe we would have had to deal with another diva, but dude, George Pickens was a better blocker too.
George Pickens is a beast.
Dude, now he's a problem in Dallas because he still wants a contract. But dude, that could have been dealt with like another season, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the 49ers has one mission right now, one goal, and that's to get this job done. It needs to happen before camp starts.
Yeah. It needs to happen, but guess what? We're not going to do a damn thing. We're going to sit on our thumbnails and just watch everybody get signed. It's just how they are. They go shopping at the bargain bins, the Dollar Generals. They'll get somebody we don't even know about. And then the next moment, maybe in some miracle, maybe Joey comes out or maybe Clowney comes if we're lucky. But knowing this regime, bro, I don't put too much hopes on what they do from here on out.
Gotta have faith, brother. Have to have some type of faith.
I have faith, but I have faith. I just have to be realistic, man. Like, I haven't seen them make a big blockbuster trade since the Bosa trade. That's it. I mean,
yeah. And I think also that's probably another reason why they would not trade is because if you gave us Maxx Crosby, our defensive line would be top 4, easily top 4. Easily.
Without a doubt. Easily.
And I don't think they want that because they have to play us too.
And exactly what Alex said on the comment section. I don't understand why teams just can't do business with other teams, bro. I thought it's good for business, but they don't. See, they try, like, some teams don't want to do business with us. That's the sad part. We can't even do trade business with other teams because they don't like us, but they have no problem doing trades with other rivals. Make it make sense.
It's about relationships. And I don't think John Lynch has quality relationships.
Oh, dude. Steelers wanted Ayuk last year, but they just weren't willing to give us they weren't willing to give us George Pickens on that trade. You know what? The Commanders last year, they were interested of doing something, but we wanted Terry McLaurin in that trade, and they said no. So Niners were trying to find a suitable replacement. They were trying to get somebody like McLaurin. Man, Commanders should have Commanders would have got Ayuk and Debo last year, and we would have just got Terry McLaurin. We would have just got over with the day, man.
Who wears number 98 for the 49ers right now?
Mikael Williams.
Oh, you got to give that up, big dog. You got to give that up, big dog. You got to give that number up, big dog.
Nah.
Give that number up. That is not your number no more.
That's if we can make the trade, man. Hey,
let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Let's be completely honest here.
Okay, let me ask.
You're telling me that we get Maxx Crosby and they don't want Mikael Williams. You're telling me Mikael Williams keeps number 98?
No, I don't. Okay, that's if we acquire Maxx Crosby, but that's the if. I'm pretty sure Mikael will change his number because that's Maxx Crosby's number. But what I'm trying to say is, bro, okay, let me ask you a question. Let's say Mark Davis just happens to be around the building. You bump into him. What would you say to Mark Davis to change his mind on a trade talk, man? What would you do to get him to trade with the Niners just to get him to buy into it?
I'm coming with a 20-year-old, beautiful blonde with quadruple G's with knee pads on and telling him, I know what you like. I've heard the rumors.
And I guess Mark Davis would be like, okay, let's do it. Hey, set him up with some hookers too.
I'm just saying, it's the Raider way. It's the Raider way. Like, I'm not saying nothing that's not obvious.
Oh, here's a friend of the show, man. The guy that I've always been good with, John Jay, man. You need to get John Jay on, man. That dude's cool.
John 49,
Jay? Yeah, 49ers Ultimate Report, man. You'll like him. He's cool, bro. Like, he's not too familiar with you, but I told him you do good stuff, man.
Absolutely. The more the merrier. The more the merrier for sure.
You'll like John Jay, bro. John Jay is one of those guys that covers because he lives in San Francisco area, so.
Oh, John Jay, you busy right now?
Oh, dude, you'll think of him like Yeah, dude, if you watch his old content, he's got some good guests over the years before, but he's kind of taken a break off that platform. He's a good dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said he was going to keep track of them. I suggest him to check out your platform. I say, hey, man, go check them out.
Listen, I like to talk to anybody and everyone that's a 49er faithful. I'm open to everyone that's a 49er faithful. As I'm saying, my channel is really made for all faithful. Like,
and your theme song does too. Yeah, I just hope I don't get my shit flagged if I start using your intro.
It shouldn't, though. It shouldn't.
But I'm thinking about using it because last time I got flagged down for a different intro, which somebody already gave me approval, which made no sense. Because I talked to that dude, Travis King, and he was cool with it.
Travis, oh yeah, I know Travis King.
Yeah, he was cool with it, and then he told me that was bullshit too. And Wayne Breezy was cool with it, so he let me use some of it too. But
so my next good question I have is Maxx Crosby the missing piece to beating the Seattle Seahawks, the Rams?
He would just give us that huge step thing, but I still think we can beat if we're healthy. This is just a team that needs to be healthy first. Like, if we're healthy, we're capable of beating the Rams and Seahawks, bro. Like, remember, we were coming off these injuries last year, dude. Like, Seattle couldn't beat us at our full strength. We were coming into the playoffs wounded and beat down with one leg and had some head, like a blindfold, bro. We were walking with nowhere to see, bro. We were still wounded from that get-go, dude. So I think we could still do it.
Here's the thing. We're going to be fresher than everyone else because we haven't been practicing.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of like a real dead period for us, and we don't show up to camp until when? When do we show up to camp?
I think it's in July, right?
Hold on.
It's around July.
When do the 49ers show up to camp? Sorry for typing so slow, y'all. Wasn't trying to have y'all hear that little tap, tap, tap noise. July 21st.
Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, John Jay's jumping in, bro. Let him jump in. I think he's trying to join in.
Oh, shit. Perfect. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Let him in. Let him in.
I got you, brother. Hold on one second.
Hey, you guys should link up because you guys are not too far off.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, JJ's in the building. How you doing, brother?
What's up, everybody? What's up, CG?
What's up, man? I told you about Mr. Trev, man. Told you.
Yeah, I just want to let your co-host know that CG is real. I've known him for a while, and he does really good content. We used to collaborate. When I used to do content, I just wanted to shout him out because he's been trying to reach out to me, saying I got to check out these people. So I wanted to say what's up and let the fans know.
I appreciate it. Yo, CG is a good people. I'm learning very quickly. Either people love CG or they just hate him.
I mean, I have every reason to be a hated guy because I've done some stupid controversial shit, but then there's some people who know me, like John Jay. He knows me.
Yep.
So, John Jay, I got a question for you. If you are the general manager of the Raiders, what are you asking for from Maxx Crosby?
So that's a very difficult question because I do not like the Raiders, but you are asking me a question. He's a fantastic player, and if you wanted to get the value, you want to get at least a first round pick. He is getting older, but at the same time, he's a player who can still contribute, not at the level he once was. And, when I thought he was going to go to the Ravens, I thought that made really good sense. I don't know what happened in that situation, but he's not he's not as washed as most people. He doesn't have a lot of serious injury concerns. And he was shut down by the Raiders in week 16. They just told him, hey, don't practice no more. Like they told him not to practice. So that's why he didn't play the last couple of weeks. He's a really, really good player. Not when he was much younger.
So what would you give up for him? What would be your ideal situation?
I would do. I think this will be really good for the Raiders and whatever team gets them. I'm gonna assume we're talking 49ers. I would give up a first round pick
Okay.
in a future third round. That if he does a really good job, stays healthy, has a productive year, then you can move that up to a second round pick, which
Okay.
I think which I think it's fair because then, in case he has an average year, you're not giving up too much, and you can even convert that to a better pick if he has a better year. I've seen a lot of teams do it, in my opinion.
CG?
Oh, dude, I agree with John Jay on this one. I don't think you have to give up 2 first rounds. Like, if you can get a conditional for next year, like let's say a conditional for like he said, the following year you get a conditional round where it can be a second round pick instead. It could be a third round, depending on his performance. That's a smart move. You don't even have to give up some of your asset players. I think they just want to build for the future if they had to make that trade.
I feel like the Raiders would definitely want the first round draft pick. I think we all can agree
Yeah,
that first round draft pick's a guarantee.
yeah, it is. But
I think they also need to take a pass rusher off our hands, and I think it's going to have to be Mykel Williams.
I don't think they really need that. They already draft some guys. I think this might sound like crazy, but they might want somebody like Ricky Ping because they don't have a legitimate wide receiver, bro. They don't.
Jay, thoughts?
Logically, you don't want to give up too much draft capital.
Yeah.
And I've had the discussions with a small community that talks 49ers that, Mykel didn't really have that rookie year. There's still a lot of question marks, but there is potential for a team who wants to get someone young, who won't cost too much. I don't like trading away, the future, but for a person like Maxx Crosby, again, I hate talking about other teams like, the Rams, like they threw away their picks and future players. But sometimes when it comes to a player like a Maxx Crosby, you sometimes have to make a bit of a sacrifice. And so to not give up too much of your future and look at what your roster has, giving up someone of a Mykel that has we don't know his ceiling or his floor yet, taking that gamble and putting them on another team to get Maxx Crosby makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, you don't want to give away a player who could basically be with your team for a decade versus Maxx Crosby for a short amount of time.
That's true.
Not mad at that. Not mad at that. The thing is, like when I think about Mac Crosby, when I think about Mykel Williams at Georgia, he never had violent hands. And to be a good defensive lineman, you need to have great hands. And Mykel is still missing that. And I don't think that's something that you really can develop when you're in the NFL. I think either you have it or you don't. And I haven't seen Mykel when he was playing for us to have those violent hands to where he is a decent pass. He's a decent run stopper, but to him to get to the quarterback. And I think that's what the 49ers are missing the most is pass rushers that consistently can give that rush, that push.
Yeah. I think he's more of a tweener, like how you look at Armstead, for example. That's what they look at him as. Because remember, Armstead was a defensive end coming out of college. They moved him up to inside. When you see Mykel Williams rush, right, where is he more effective at rushing inside at times?
That but he's so light though.
But he's effective. That's the difference. Yeah. I mean, yeah, as an outside rusher, yeah, he's a good run stopper. But when it comes to those third down situation package plays where he can just rush the inside, that's where he makes his money. But he's kind of like a lighter version of Armstead if you think about it.
Hey Jay, quick question for you. If the trade happens, how many sacks do you think Bosa and Crosby get combined?
So that is a really interesting question. What I can tell you, and again, CG, I don't really talk like most fans. I go like how I see it on the field and exactly. What they still have to give production to the 49ers. A healthy Bosa can, get you around, depending on how he does probably close to around 10 sacks. Maxx Crosby, if you're able to get around the same amount of production between both of them, you can have like two players combined close to around 20 sacks. Because again, Maxx Crosby, what type of player are you getting? What Bosa is going to return next year? Again, he suffered an injury. Hopefully he's okay. We want these guys to be healthy, but sometimes production of players do go down once they start to age up in age, and of course when it comes to their production. And I hope that they can still both produce. If you have two guys, and this is the thing that we've been missing, that other pass rusher to help Bosa, because having two guys on both sides there, and then just like it is hypothetical or these just simple discussion, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but those are some ideal stats that probably make really good sense.
Well, okay. For John Jay for saying that, even with them combined 20 sacks, that's better than what we had last year combined. If you think about it. Bro, like you're gonna still get production with these other players too. So you're gonna probably get maybe close to 40 total sacks together, and even that's not bad.
I'll take anything. Honestly, like I kind of want to just forget about last season's pass rushers that we had, and just really recognize that if this trade can go through, if they both give us 10 each, I think we're going to the second round of the playoffs. 10, is that fair to say?
At least.
I mean, when we're healthy and when we have our full strength, we've shown how capable we can be, but it's just, to be fair, last year, bro, we went into like injuries and still were able to manage to win one playoff game, which is insane.
Jay, I got another good question for you. As the nose tackle, who do you think should be that starting tackle? Do we stay with Alfred Collins, who started to grow into a man before our eyes, or do we go with a CJ West, or with, I would say, CG's guy from Oklahoma?
Yeah, I forget that CG likes Oklahoma. Not the biggest fan of that. Is what it is, but I really like, CJ West. I know he, like, our defensive tackles didn't really lived up to the expectations. They're young.
Yeah.
But we also brought in, I don't know if he plays nose tackle, Bosa from Dallas. And so we did kind of strengthen that, defensive tackle.
Does Bosa play nose, or does he only play technique?
Yeah.
He plays more of a technique. He plays more of a technique at the nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I do see a lot of potential with CJ West, and I have these conversations with other 49er fans, and while the both other guys that we're also talking about, I like them both. They started to like show, especially Alfred Collins. Like, yes, they started off slow, but there's one thing that I always say as a rule of thumb, because we have shorter preseason. Starters don't play a lot. It takes them a couple of weeks to get into that football shape. So I do think that the guys there that we got last year are going to improve more and more. I do like CJ West a little bit more. I know Alfred Collins is the more bigger guy, but I've always seen some positives, even though it doesn't show on the stat sheet. CJ West.
CJ West, to me, is a guy that kind of works harder, bro. Like, even in that playoff game against Seattle, he made an effort play on getting to Sam Darnold, like, which it doesn't get quite noticed a lot. Alfred Collins, because he's a big body guy, I get why they like him. He's a good run stopper, not quite a consistent pass rusher, but what I like about Grayson Holton is his motor and the fact that he can spy to the quarterback for a D tackle very quick as hell. But I think that's going to take him some time. I don't think he's going to start right away. He's going to be on the rotation. So I think they're going to go with Collins just because of they need a big stopper first. And then CJ West is going to rotate in, and then Holton will either rotate in with Bosa. I think that's how it's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
I like Bosa. I like that film. His film is nasty, and that's what I love. I love how nasty his film is. And he has agility, sideline. He has lateral movement is amazing. I like that. I like that a lot about him.
Yeah, like the guy that the Cardinals drafted before us, I liked him also, but he's on IR now. That sucks.
So this whole Maxx Crosby situation has been something that's been going on since last year, and for some reason, it hasn't gotten done. Especially after the situation with that. I think Baltimore's doctors just didn't like Maxx Crosby, and that's why they didn't make it happen. But I truly do believe that in the next 7 days, I think something's going to have to shake. Something has to. They have no choice, really.
Raiders don't have really nothing to worry about. Their cap space is good for now. They're part just if nobody wants Crosby, they're going to hold on to Crosby. That's what's going to happen.
But here's the thing. I think Philadelphia also wants Crosby.
Well, they got the guy from Minnesota. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you can say Philadelphia could be in the mix because they're super aggressive, but they just got that one dude, the dude from the Vikings. I forget his name.
Jay, do you think the 49ers should go all in on a championship this season, or should we wait for this upcoming draft class?
You know, I do want to, so as a fan of the 49ers, I do want to see the 49ers win. Like, I do want to see a Super Bowl. And the way the Niners construct their team, and, you know, like, I want to emphasize this because, again, I don't really do as much content like I used to anymore. You know, the Niners never focus on the players that can transform this team immediately and, you know, combined with the players that we have to win. And Kyle, you know, sometimes really, you know, upsets me, and even John with the decisions. We got to focus on depth. I would like them to, like, do what the Rams are doing and other teams, you know, getting this player, getting that player. You know, it makes a lot of sense. Like, let's get that 6th title. I'm a firm believer in, like, build for, you know, for the quick development and sign the players that may not be the most flashiest, but can give you an impact, and hopefully in a couple of years. I know nobody wants to wait no more. That's how I will construct the team. If we go all in, you know, we do have to make sacrifices. We got to let players go, young players get draft capital. And sometimes you don't want to do that to your team.
Yeah.
But if you want to win that Super Bowl, you know, you have to make tough choices. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. That's how I look at it in my perspective.
Same question for you, CJ.
Well, when you have a roster that's built to win now, bro, you should just go all in for this. Like, at this point, bro, how long is it sustainable? Like, dude, a lot of team success doesn't last too long. Like, you have to capitalize. And even if you win the championship, bro, you're going to start getting other players interested to come over here and take a friendly deal. So it's not like cap space is going to be a problem at some point. Yeah, financially it might be a struggle, but when you have the entire good roster like the Rams are doing, you're going to go all in. So you can't expect your competition to get better. You got to take what you can get to get on top. Like, I need a Howie Roseman, bro. I need a Howie Roseman as my general manager. Or a Les Snead. Or a Les Snead, bro. I need John Lynch. To me is just a yes man. That's what it seems like.
CG, do you think they fired John Lynch regardless of the season?
No, his contract. They haven't even given him an extension, so I think his contract's going to run out.
Jay, same question. Do you think that they'll just let him go?
I honestly don't know. Like, realistically, I don't know what they're thinking. Personally, you know, I think John, you know, has done what he's able to do, and there shouldn't be, like, any reason to, like, you know, see if we can upgrade. You know, Kyle Shanahan as well, you know, I'm not saying to, like, destroy the whole ship, but they do have to evaluate where the GM, if they feel John Lynch can do this job for 5 more years,
and give him what he wants.
It is what it is. But if And again, I'm going to kind of be a little bit harsh on my owner because Jed York is, I'm not the biggest fan of him. He's okay. Like he said this recently on an interview before the Super Bowl. We're doing okay. We're financially capable of sustaining this franchise for the long term, and we're not going to do anything rash. By taking the word of your owner, what you're basically saying is, it's okay to be average. I'm okay as an owner. Fans don't look at it that way. If John Lynch is not the answer, the Jet has to make that tough decision. You have to make decisions that are uncomfortable. And again, I'm more, not like, most podcasters, and I look at it in the reality of how teams are constructed. And sometimes if Jed York said it's not broken, I'm not going to fix it. Fans probably don't want to hear that, but that's just how we do it. But if I was the owner, I would say, both you guys, I'm going to put ultimatums. You guys still have a job, but I want to see you guys win something. And that's how I would do it. But again, I'm not the owner.
Can't be mad at that. You really can't be mad at that type of assessment, because when I look at John Lynch and his tenure with the 49ers, if I had to give him a grade, I think we would all agree it has to be a D+.
If we're going by the draft, basically, then yeah. But as far as free agency, he's kind of done okay. But when it comes to Kyle Shanahan as a head coach, if I'm being honest, he's given this team a B+ performance. No, B+.
I give him a B+. I'm not mad at that.
Because even from being here for so long and only having like 3 or 4 losing seasons, bro, that's not too bad of a rate to put into.
Absolutely. Agreed. Do you two have any question that y'all would want to ask right now? I'm going to give y'all the floor right now. I'm just getting to know Jay right now, and it sounds like Jay is a quality person of quality football, and I appreciate that.
Oh, you and Jay need to link up at some point, man. You guys are right down the corner.
Well, like I've known CG, for a while. We've had our ups and downs. I do want to let the viewers know that me and CG have always clashed in the past. But the respect that I have for CG, while I may not always agree with him, he's going to tell you the hard truths that you don't want to hear. And some people don't like that, and some people love that. And so I'm also, I'm not like a 49er fan that, lives out of state. I was born and raised in the Bay Area my entire life. So, I grew up with all the Bay Area teams. I know a lot of 49er fans love other basketball teams and football and baseball teams, etc. But I've been in the Bay Area my whole life. So I've loved these teams, here. And it's very rare to find a fan who lives in Northern California in the Bay Area region. And I lived in San Francisco for a few years. And so that's who I am. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. People don't love everything I say. And I respect the fans. If they think I'm delusional, that's what we're all about. We need haters. If you don't have the haters, then, you have a boring channel.
That's a fact. So hold on, Jay, I'm going to throw a fastball at you right now. Okay, you ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
Is Brock Purdy a top 10 quarterback?
Ooh, this is going to piss off a lot of people. So Brock Purdy is the right quarterback for Kyle's offense. The guy may not be perfectly mobile, but the guy can move. The guy may not have the strongest arm, but the guy is able to get the ball to the playmakers. Here comes the part where I'm going to get criticized. When he broke the record, he had McCaffrey when he was healthy. When they had 2,000, when he had 2,000 all-purpose yards, a healthy Kittle, a healthy Ayuk, a healthy Debo, etc. And my perspective when it comes to quarterbacks is I don't think this quarterback is number one. The system works so well. Because it works so well, and I'm going to now, crap on the Chiefs fan, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and at the peak of that dynasty, they had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce when he was younger, a good run game, good offensive line. So Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy were at the perfect situation. Brock Purdy is the best quarterback for this team because it works. And for anyone who does not like that, it is what it is. I will never say he's top 10, number 1, number 10. He's really good. I can tell you right now, he's better than a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL.
Brock Purdy better than Mac Jones.
Skill-wise and the intangibles you're looking for a quarterback, yes.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, John Jay's giving you truth whether you like it or not, and you can respect that. I mean, yeah, me and John Jay would have some moments where we would just go at each other just for debates, but we always tend to hug it out and just let it be, man. That's the best part about it. He wasn't like some other people that just hold animosity and just throw my name out there. But John Jay keeps it real. That's what I like about him.
I got a fastball for you, CG. You ready?
What's the fastball, man?
Who's the most important player on the 49ers outside of Brock Purdy?
Who's the most important player, like, outside of Brock Purdy? Like, if we're talking most important player, like, I just think this year it has to be Bosa. It's just because our pass rush just hasn't really done anything last year. If we can get a top defense, bro, we would be better. But I think from looking at it from a defensive side, bro, come on, we didn't have no production at getting to the quarterback, bro. Like, who was out there? Like, Bosa was a difference maker. But if you're talking the most important player on offense, bro, it's Trent Williams. You need that guy because the offensive line sucks. You need Trent. Trent is like Thanos, bro. He fixes the entire offensive line. You need that guy, or else we're screwed.
Jay, I got to hear from you before I give my comments.
I make you laugh, do I?
You did, because I'm so mad at your take right now. Jay?
Let's see. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, last year was not a really good year because everybody was hurt. We won 12 games. Trent Williams, he played, well. He's not the same player he once was. He's one of those guys up there. We had a very inexperienced, receiving core. Like, I can't really, to be honest, pick out a second important player because McCaffrey had a really bad year, under 4 yards a carry. He did pick up over 1,000 rushing yards, but not by much. And they used him as a receiver. I would say this, like, the most important player that was out there that was getting the stats, getting the numbers was McCaffrey. But I'm being very generous because, again, he didn't play the way he once did. He was also injured the year prior. Our offense last year, it was a team effort.
Agreed. I'm gonna say that most important player for the 49ers this upcoming season, in my opinion, it has to be Fred Warner. Fred Warner was hurt on accident, but was hurt. And to come back from that type of an injury, he needs to come back 110% for this defense to be consistent and reliable, because that is the heartbeat of this team. Now, when George Kittle is back, here's the thing. George Kittle and Fred Warner can't stand each other. Off the field, on the field, they can't stand each other. And I think Fred Warner, this is his time to shine. And I think for him to get the team back in his good graces, I think we need to start looking at Fred Warner to step up even more, because this defense only goes as far as Fred Warner. Because we all saw once Fred Warner went down, this team, we didn't have nothing else. We didn't. Offense, I'm not the biggest Christian McCaffrey fan because it's the system, it's the zone blocking. So I'm not that big a fan because I believe that you can put any fast running back, plug and play in zone concept, hit the gap, deuce up to the backer. We got some alleys. I want to say George Kittle. I think George Kittle also needs to step up, and he needs to do more blocking. I think that can really help our running game more. I get it. We need to get him his passes. He needs to get his 5 touches. But at the same time, if we can actually have a real run game where we're putting him in motion to where we can actually have something up, I think that will be the second most important player will be George Kittle. Thoughts, gentlemen?
I agree with the Kittle part because he is the heart and soul. But when I kind of put it in separate ways, I I just think that people don't realize what we didn't have last year with Bosa because he was out the rest of the year. That game against Seattle, bro, if it wasn't for him sacking Darnold, bro, that game would have been different. Like, I feel Bosa to me gives us that pass rush. Like, he just gives our defense the pressure we've been lacking. A healthy Nick Bosa is going to make our defense better with Raheem Morris. But when you look at Trent Williams, the record's bad when he's not out there.
Absolutely. And Trent Williams being 37 years old, 38 years old, I think this is going to be the toughest year he's ever had in his career, in my opinion. I think this is going to be the toughest year that he's ever had in his career. He has some work coming at him this year. He does.
Father time catches up for some people, but maybe this Trent, it may be a down year, but it may not be as bad as the rest of the offensive linemen.
Jay, give me your thoughts on Trent Williams. I'm very curious. Since I'm getting to know you, I want to know your ideology around a 37-year-old left tackle.
So Trent Williams has had a phenomenal career. Let's respect what he has done going back to when he was in Washington. Unfortunately, that situation ended really badly, and I can understand why he left. And during his time here, he's lived up to what, even at his age. But as the years get, eventually, and I've been seeing that, he's starting to make minor mistakes. I'm not saying like he's making serious mistakes that, he's blowing coverages, sacks, going from the blind side. There are moments where you can see where he's not like elite anymore. Yeah. He's outstanding, which is still okay. Compared to the players that we have on the line, our line is a big question mark. Because again, there are good days and there are a lot of bad days on the line. Trent Williams will give you like 3 quality games and he will shit the bed, excuse my language, one time. He cannot give you 16, 17 games in a row. And there's going to be moments where, he's going to leave the game for like a quarter, then come back. Our reliability on him should not be what it used to be. We have to get someone to help him.
Agree.
But he's still a good player on the Niners. Still a good player, not the player that he once was.
Yeah, we can accept that part because usually at that age you tend to slow down, and plus you need to have somebody to take some let's say we're in position to just rest the players and try to make sure we secure a first round bye. You're playing against a certain team that you probably don't got too much to deal with. Why not just play your backup tackle and see what you get out of him, and you should be able to secure the number 1 seed, right?
Yes. I think so. But here's the thing. I do believe that Trent Williams needs to have rest. And I've only seen a left tackle get that type of spot practice. What's the guy's name that was in Seattle for many, many years? To where he would have a certain snap count. And then it would bring in another left tackle just to play, 3 series, but then he would jump back in there. I think we might need to do that with Trent Williams this season.
Are you talking about Walter Jones?
Was it Walter Jones?
I think it was because he was there for so many years, but I think they had somebody fill in, and because he was up in age, but he was still trying to get a breather.
Yeah, I think we might need to do that with Trent. If we're going to get the best out of him going against Myles Garrett, I think that is what needs to happen.
We need to go bring in Brunskill, man. He's still out there.
Who is the most underrated player on this roster? Who wants to go first on that one?
I'll go. Most underrated player?
Yeah.
If we're talking most underrated player right now, I'm going to say, man, I've always been
the same person. I think we should all have the same person in mind, and they're on defense.
Well, okay, on defense, if we're talking underrated on defense, man, I feel like I feel like Lenore is just quite the name that nobody gives respect for. For some reason, they don't give him enough respect. Like, they think he's overrated, but if you look at how he matches up in coverage, bro, he's been very consistent at times. Like, that's exactly what you're looking for at that position, but he doesn't get the recognition he deserves. I think Lenore should be up there for most underrated, in my opinion.
Jay?
So there might be a biased answer with that. I always, want to say that because there are always biases when it comes to who I think are who's the best, who's that, support cast and who's underappreciated. Dominic Pooney, who has been playing off position under Kyle Shanahan, he played on the left side when he was in Kansas, and I've always loved the way he played. When you watch his tape, you watch a film, he's really, really good. Never allowed a sack, never allowed anyone to, and he played on a bad Kansas team, which for those who watch college football, they're not really considered really good. But because Kyle always drafts players and they move him around, he doesn't really shine very well. But I think if you line him up next to Trent Williams, maybe like CG will like this answer. We'll start seeing Trent Williams play much better because Pooney is younger, anchoring that side. Because when Lincoln Tomlins, or I forgot who was the guy next to him before he left, that side of the ball was pretty well. And I think we underutilize him. And I think he's a player that doesn't get a lot of respect. And that's how I see a player like that doesn't get a lot of respect. Of course, he's made, a lot of mistakes, but he's off position, just like many of our offensive line players. For people who wonder why our offensive line, they're not playing the correct position. But I do want to shout out Malik Mustafa. He was hurt last year. When that guy is on, while he's labeled a safety, he's been creating a bit of a more hybrid style because he can hit you, like a linebacker. And I kind of like Mustafa, again, injuries, will set your career back. But if Mustafa is healthy and can show that potential, this guy could be everywhere on the field.
Well, I like that. Like, personally, from Pooney's perspective, like, since you're talking offense, like, I think the crazy part is Pooney just had a little bit of an off year, but he was coming off a PCL sprain injury, so that took him time to get it together. But what John Jay just said is, I agree, bro. Why not just put Pooney right next to Trent? Because you can fix that side of the line, and it makes it easy for Trent. It takes away what he does. I mean, then you can put another tackle out there. I mean, another guard over there. Like Pooney, to me, I think we found ourselves a starting caliber Pro Bowl guard for years to come for sure.
So, inside but not really inside thoughts. The reason why you would take a left guard like Pooney and move him to the right side is because you don't trust the anchor of the right tackle. And you know for a fact that the right tackle gives him more pressure in the left leg. So what you do is you take an anchor who is a strong, beastie guy who can anchor right side in, transition him into that right guard position, and then once that pressure comes inside, he'll be able to push off and be able to push it back into the right tackle. So that's the reason of why you would do that. I agree with Jay. Putting him in his regular position would be better for his career because he would be comfortable.
Yeah.
At the same time, you're getting a more violent and more have to be on guard at every single second because it's not comfortable. And you kind of want your guards not to be comfortable because if it's a thing of memory, of muscle memory, then they're going to do certain things to where it's like, oh, this is just regular. But if they're out of position and they have to be more cognitive into what's going on with Mike, the backer, everything, you're getting a different type of a player. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Like Pooney, again, offensive line do have to be versatile. They do have to learn how to learn the position. Again, maybe your audience, and you probably won't believe me, but I've worked in high school football, and I've worked with many offensive line coaches that had different philosophies and all that. Yeah. And one of the things that they will always tell me that sometimes we do have to move a strong player in a weaker position for certain specific reasons.
They
And
do
so
that.
I understand, where you're coming from, because I do have that experience and knowledge. Again, never played offensive line, not big, like CG, he's much taller, he did play. I was more like a return person, like a Sproles when I did play, because I'm not the tallest, but as a person who uses common sense, I prefer my players playing at their natural position. That's just my take.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for some coaches, for the offensive line, they know where they need to put them at, but sometimes you want to put them at where they're good at. But my coach had to put me at a certain spot where I just wasn't comfortable at, and he just believed in me taking on that side better. But even though I was more capable on the other side, but I couldn't question him. I had to just let it work out itself. And even though I didn't see eye to eye with that coach, I just had to look at it the way he looked at it. And if I didn't see it that way, he would respectfully understand and just move me to the other side. That's what it was. But
Here's the thing. Would I like to see Pooney at the left guard position? And that's his natural side, because that's what he played at Kansas. Yes. But I think that would be detrimental to this offensive line, because it would just be detrimental. It would be detrimental because, let's be honest here, our right side without Pooney would be softer than baby crap.
oh yeah, because everybody keeps saying McKivitz is great, but he's solid. Don't get me wrong. But if you take away Pooney,
McKivitz is a C minus.
But if you take Pooney out of the equation, I think you're getting a D grade out of that guy. I don't know. I like McKivitz. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, you're right. You know what? Matter of fact, as much as you said that, John Jay, I just don't know if moving Pooney out of there will be smart, because dude, McKivitz is solid, but not as good as Trent.
And hold on, and before you say anything, I'm trying to get a feel, because I'm writing out the offensive line right now. When we go strong I formation, or if we do anything of I formation, we got Juice in the backfield with Christian McCaffrey. We got Pooney on that left guard. We got Trent Williams at the left tackle, and then we have George Kittle. That sounds amazing on paper.
Mm-hmm.
But what we actually are giving up of a balanced nucleus of being able to audible out of that situation and still be able to have complete pass protection on that right side, I think we'll be giving up way too much. I think we'll be just giving up way too much on that back end, because we're too strong on that. We got just all this strong on one side. And I think if you're a defensive coordinator and you're looking at that, I'm offloading that whole backside, and I'm bringing so many different tangibles of twists, blitzes coming from that backside, corner blitzes, safety blitzes, because I know you don't have the player personnel financially as well as schematically to be able to keep up with what I give you.
Yeah. I understand, the logic that you are saying. What you are saying is not false, because if we, went how it's all supposed to be designed, everyone in their perfect position, Kyle Shanahan takes away the weaknesses that I see and always finds a strong way with his motion. And while the players are not playing, defenders are moving around. And so once that ball is hiked, the defense is far apart where they're supposed to be, because you mentioned Kyle Juszczyk is always motion. We have a receiver. We have Kittle always moving around. And so the defenders are going to be very confused. And so you're absolutely right. While I again, this is my opinion, what you're saying is absolutely a fair point. Our offense is designed not to be perfect. Our design is to confuse the defense, and that's why it works perfectly.
But in today's offense, bro, I just don't think the fullback is necessary anymore, dude. You're starting to see how Sean McVay is doing a tight end formation, dude. You're seeing it. You're seeing a 13 personnel. You don't really need a fullback today, bro. It just doesn't seem to be. I mean, but Kyle still sticks with that formula, which I can respect, bro. But it's kind of evolved, and fullback today is just not like it used to be.
I'm gonna let you speak on that, Jay, before I say what I want to say, because I want to nerd out on concepts and the reason why the motion and the fullback is important. I'm not the hugest Juice fan. I'm gonna be honest. In his last 3 years, I haven't been a fan of him because he's done horrible blocking, in my opinion, of what a fullback should be. But Jay, you have the floor.
Kyle's offense is predicated in the 21 personnel. I learned this from a guy that I think CG remembers. He's called the Beast Rider, years ago. And he taught me about the 21 personnel. The 21 personnel needs 2 tight ends. And one of the things that we've always had issue is finding Kittle's, partner. Last year, Jake Tungus, or Tungus, stepped up and became, that guy we've been waiting for many years. But the fullback is always predicated for Kyle's offense to run. And while I've always said this, that the fullback is not important in the NFL anymore, we're starting to see more teams because, Sean McVay under Kyle Shanahan, the Packers head coach, Robert Saleh, who's now with Tennessee, of course, the Texans coach. Those guys have learned Kyle's offense, and they understand that the fullback is predicated. While most teams are filtering away from the fullback, because Kyle has been so successful with the Niners and many of our coaches have become coaches, they take that to their teams that they're coaching now. And so while the fullback may not be important, just like the running backs are still there, but that's a different conversation when it comes to the running backs. But when it comes to the fullbacks, I understand why people don't like the fullbacks. But Kyle, no matter what, that's why he tried to convert a tight end from CG School, Oklahoma, to be a fullback.
He was more of a tweener, but he just wasn't quite it. He's just a natural tight end.
And here's the thing. That 21 personnel, it's good. If you have, and this is where I think some defensive coordinators come think of it from a defensive mindset when I see 21 personnel. If you have young players at the tight end position and at that fullback position that are willing to have that edge of violentness, it's good. But when you don't have that that enforcer, that hitman, the Thanos at the fullback position or at the tight end position, you leave your offense vulnerable because you have linebackers that are willing to cheat and take steps up front to let's be honest here. I don't think there's a linebacker in NFL that looks at Kyle Juszczyk and thinks, "Ooh, I'm scared." I think they look at him as an old man who's just a really wise veteran.
Yeah, he's just more of a guy with a receiving skill set. But if I'm trying to stick with that 21 personnel, bro, why not just you're trying to get the next guy to fill in Juszczyk's spot, right? So I just think Garendo could have been more of a better transition. I think he has the speed and everything you're looking for. And he's got the hands as a receiving back, but he's got a 4.3 speed you can't coach. Can you imagine how much of a matchup he would be as a fullback if he was just used that way?
Jay, give me your thoughts about that, because I think I'm going to disagree with CG on that. Give me your opinion on that.
Yeah, this is a very tough question. I've heard people defending, Kyle Juszczyk, others not. Kyle Shanahan, again, his father, what he did. One of the reasons why Terrell Davis was so successful was because of that fullback. But in today's NFL, the game has changed. Again, Kyle Juszczyk is not used the way a fullback is traditionally used. And yeah, he's not young no more. That's another player that's getting older as well. And again, I've never said Kyle Juszczyk, was a great top player that you put up there with the ones who are the most important players. He's there to make Kyle's offense roll. When you're driving the car, the best analogy, he's there to make sure that car is moving. and he's the mechanic of that offense. When he's not there, Kyle has tried many other, and it doesn't work the way he wants it to work. It's difficult for me. And again, should Kyle evolve his offense? Probably. Will he do it? No. It's one of these questions, do we have the answer to? I wish I have like the right answer or any answer at all. This is just one of these questions of like, do we need it? I personally don't know.
I can't stand, and I'll admit it, I can't stand when I see use check in motion, because as soon as I see use check go in motion, from a defensive mindset, I'm like, light his ass up. Any linebacker, light his ass up. If I have a slot wide receiver doing that exact same thing, kind of like since you coached high school, you know about the wing T, right? If you put a wide receiver 4.4 speed doing that exact same thing, give me your thoughts on that then.
Yeah, so a wide receiver is, to simplify, I don't want to bore anyone, a wide receiver can do the things that Kyle is asking for, things like that. We saw it with Debo. Debo wasn't truly a true wide receiver. I used to like debate this and like try to he's a wide receiver, but he did a lot of things that resembled a running back.
And he was positionless, but he was good.
Yeah. And so we had, I forgot what was his name. He was with the Steelers, and then we had him for a year. Then he left. I forgot his name. McLeod. He was doing some of those things, like moving, shifting, all that stuff, blocking, because Kyle wants his receivers to block. If you're telling your receivers to block as well and do all these things that Kyle Juszczyk is doing, again, you go back to this argument: is he really necessary if a receiver can do that as well? And so it's one of those questions. I personally would not use a fullback. That's just my take.
I wouldn't either. Because for me, I refuse to dunk and dime every 5 yards. And when you have a fullback, in my opinion, you can't really threaten the defensive coverage the same way with a fullback as you could with 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers. The endless things of what I could do with 3 and 4 wide receivers on the field at the same times. Mike Evans, Ricky P, Stribling, as well as Robinson. You give me those 4 wide receivers, I promise you, I could score more offensive points than having Kyle Juszczyk on the field. And that's, wow. You just gave me a kind of a thought. He's not really playing the game to stretch the field and score. He's going for stats. Wow. That just came to my mind right now. Wow. Because by doing that, you could get Christian McCaffrey. Wow. Sorry, I just nerded out on a stat thing. My apologies.
Hey, I'm gonna have to just call it a day right now because I don't want to hold up my wife too long. It was fun.
My apologies. Yeah.
No, you guys are good, bro. But it's just I don't want to hold up my wife too long. I know we had a good conversation. Hey, with John Jay, bro, you can go on for hours with this guy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I also have to leave very soon.
No, it's all good. Hey, Jay, definitely please send me a message on Instagram or reach out to me somehow, some way. I definitely would love to have you back on, Jay. CG Ruthless, it's always a pleasure. I definitely went 23 minutes over, but hey, I appreciate y'all both coming through, and I'm having a great conversition. I think this is one of the better conversations we really had, and we got a chance to nerd out on football, which we all love.
Yeah, you and John Jay should meet up, man. You stay by the Fillmore district, huh?
Yeah, I'm still in San Francisco for sure.
The Fillmore district. I have family who live over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, basically, I grew up I don't know if you heard of this place. It's nearby the Cow Palace.
Daly City
Swamp.
Yeah, I grew up there.
Jay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, go meet him at Daly City then, man. Go over there.
That's where I currently live. I live in Daly City, nearby the water.
Oh, for sure.
Listen, go meet up, man. Go link up.
Hey, you've already said enough messages. Make sure you follow me, and I will follow you back, brother, because we definitely can link up and talk some more football for sure. I gotta have you on this channel again. Absolutely.
I will do my best. I'm a workaholic. CG's been asking me to go on his platform, and I've been telling him the same thing. Like, the only reason why I'm here is because I had a day off. I had nothing to do, and I saw CG. Because I'm subscribed. he always has community tabs information. That's why I popped in. But for sure, I'll look you up. And whenever I have time, again, I'm not gonna make no promises, but I really appreciate being on.
Hey, I respect it. Make sure everyone that's watching right now, please subscribe to both of their channels expeditiously. 249 Faithful. Hey, I appreciate y'all both for joining me today.
Yeah.
All right, no problem, man. Appreciate it. And
later.
yeah, we went on for long, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's all good. Yo, I want to give a big shout out to both those brothers. Amazing gentlemen. We nerded out on football. And that's what it's all about. So please, if you liked what you just saw, please drop in the comments and let me know that you like those type of conversations. I like having it open-ended to where just, 49er fans could listen and know exactly what's going on. But I think sometimes we need to go more intricate details of what we actually see as 49er fans, because it makes better content. And I think it also makes us all more cognitive, and like we just know what the fuck we talk about. We all know what 21 personnel it is. We all know what Juszczyk does and what he doesn't do. We know. We ain't gotta hide it. We know exactly what happens, and we need to talk about why we like it and why we don't. So, anything else that we should talk about before I get off over here right now? Anything else? Drop it in the comments right now. Please let me know on the roll call of where you're tuning in from. Let me know. That's super, super big to me. I want to know where are the 49er faithful checking in from. And please subscribe. That's another thing. Subscribe to the Faithful Talk channel. You got to. So many different things. But 49er Faithful, that was my time. And if there's nothing else that no one wants to talk about, I'm going to get myself off over here too. This was a good show. Really damn good show. A damn good show. Hold on. We got Southern California in the building. Yay! Alex, you in SoCal? I might have check in with you, brother. I might need to get some tacos. Where else we got? We got Oakley in the building. Okay, we got some spots.